Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by two people who treat all unknown phone calls as if they were the Call of Cthulhu.
I don't know how you come up with this stuff, but it's so accurate every time.
I stress over this. More than I really should, to be fair.
What was it? Someone, not even phone calls. Someone said, I'm a millennial, never knock on my door. Knocking on doors, phone calls. No. Solid no.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with that. It's just I've got no interest in connecting with people.
It's true. It's horrible, but it's true. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't mind connecting with people. I don't want to do it out my doorstep. Also, because who's really doing that? Usually vacuum salesmen, which I actually bought a vacuum that way.
Oh, okay. And how did that turn out?
Expensive, but it was one of those old school metal Kirby vacuums. But let me tell you what, my house was never cleaner. Like that vacuum, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Fair enough,
I think I scared the kid though, because he was like, if someone came in and they were lying, stealing, and cheating, what would you do? I'm like, I'd probably get my gun. Like, why are they in my house in the first place? You could see his eyes go big.
Wait. That was the salesman who asked you that.
Yes.
Why?
Because he was implying that my vacuum cleaner, not the one he was selling, but mine, was lying, stealing, and cheating because it wasn't doing as good as a vacuum. I was spending money on. Yeah.
I wondered if he wanted you to use the vacuum cleaner as a weapon.
Oh.
What would you do? Would you attack him?
You could. The thing's heavy. Actually, this does relate to tabletop role-playing games just slightly. I know you're not on TikTok a lot. I know some people are. There is a vacuum barbarian on TikTok. And the way I found him was on pure accident. I didn't realize he was as big of a deal when I found him, but he is a guy who does barbarian snippets, role play, TikTok things where he if you're not on TikTok, it's kind of hard to explain. But he does these little snippets. But his club, I'm not joking. This guy has these vacuums that light up, and he'll dual wield them, and he'll whip them around and throw them on his shoulders. It is hilarious and terrifying at the same time because I'm going I'm.
And then people wonder why I don't do TikTok.
You got to get into it, man. You got to get into it.
I will post videos. I'll post our shorts on there and contacts and followers and other podcasts they'll post stuff and I'll go and that's about it. But the whole there's that whole thing where it's okay, so this is something that's really interesting that's going on.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm gonna go see what I can do and check it out in the next video. It's oh, you fucking prick. It's I hate everything about you. To my core. I despise you.
See, TikTok has been so good for me in the role-playing space. I've met so many great TTRPG people. It's fantastic. I mean, you got to watch out though, because I will say there's a few things that I think some people just take the role-playing too far. I did a video one time of a barbarian and a bard just going back and forth talking to each other. At the campfire, and someone got in my comments and they're role playing, typing it out, oh, I'm gonna give you a blanket and stuff. I'm no, no.
That's just no.
Yeah. No.
But anyway, Atlas, how have you been this past week?
Oh, I'm great. I am currently unemployed. In the best way possible.
Living the dream.
Until I realize I don't have a paycheck for the rest of this month. But I started
training.
Still the dream. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna this is kind of nice. I woke up this morning. I was going, what am I gonna do? Game art. But no, we didn't get to play this weekend. Our GM was sick. Connell, get better. But I've been still doing a lot of game art. So I'm hoping that with this month of transition of moving, training for my new job, I can actually pump out a whole ton of game art because I got some cool stuff we're designing and yeah.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. How about you?
I got back to playing the Abomination Vault.
Oh.
Last Thursday.
Okay.
After a unexpected hiatus. for scheduling issues and organizing and
Oh.
all that. But it
Of
was
course.
good to get back. And one of the reasons why we didn't do it was because not enough people were able to make it, and
Mhm.
the combat was so fucking deadly. It's like, if you do this, you're gonna die.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll say you need this many people with at least this much requirements,
Mhm.
and you may stand a chance. And even then, when they came in fully rested with a full tanky frontliner,
Ugh,
and that this one dude just was knocking them left and right,
oh
and they nearly
gosh.
died. They at least one of them came close.
I'm trying to think. I feel like that was like our Fading Suns game. We it's not that it's easy to die in that game, but like if you are messed up, like, oh, you're stunned, you're whatever, like it messes up your rolls. So healing takes forever. Doing any sort of damage is basically like useless after you get hurt. And I remember one of the characters that was my brother in game, like he's the heir to the baron, so it's like he has to be alive at all costs, and I kind of use myself as a body shield, and he was like, oh, it'll be fine, and then they get up and our GM's like, yeah, no, she's not fine, and we had to do this mass panic, like, oh my god, am I about to die in game? Because it's just like those games are hard where it's like you will die, like you have to be careful or you'll die. I feel like Shadowrun was like that in comparison to what I'm used to. The whole like you get shot, you're messed up. Like, oh, okay, don't
I
get
mean,
shot.
I do like a game like that.
I love it. I love it. I don't get a chance to play them a lot because of the table I'm at, but they're good. Makes the risk worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I like a thing. I like the risk of being able to be one bad roll away from death.
Yeah, and it's not even a bad roll either because like you could do a good roll, but if the GM rolls better, then it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
No, I mean, for me, one of the most lethal systems I've played was Rollmaster.
I have not played that.
Rollmaster is it's got a few years on it now. They have recently brought out an updated rule set, but it is still crunchy. Like, it
Oh.
is incredibly crunchy. So the way it works is you pick a class, or I think they call them professions. So you pick a profession, and all the classic professions are there. You've got your rogue, you got your wizard, you've got your sorcerer, all them are
Yeah.
there. But it is a skill based system.
Mm.
All right. So there is an A4 piece of paper, pretty much front and back, with all these different skills. Hand to hand combat is a skill. Deflecting arrows is a skill.
Mm.
And what your class dictates is how cheap those skills are.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, a wizard could actually train in heavy armor, but it's expensive as fuck.
Ooh. I like that.
Whereas all the magic-y sort of stuff is a lot more um a lot easier to get for that particular class.
Yeah, it's more attainable for that class. That's
But the worst part about it is that everything is done on tables. So the GM has a never ending list of tables,
oh
which,
jeez.
depending on the circumstance, okay, so you hit this person with this particular weapon going against this particular armor. Let's see how you did.
Mm.
And it can be brutal because the crits are open ended. So the way you resolve a crit is, if you crit, you roll an ad. If you crit again, you roll an ad. And it's a
Oh.
D100 system. So you could be hitting 300, 400
Oh my god.
over the target number, and that's a crit to fuck. But you can
Mm.
one shot a Tarask
Huh.
with the right rolls. But then again, you can be like me, and as your wizard snapcasts a fireball and puts himself into a coma for 3 months.
I never understood the fireball stereotype until I was playing D&D 5e and we had just switched GMs. This was forever ago, like my first year of playing. And the guy who'd just been GMing us was a player now, and he fireballs the what's the group of people that plays music? Not an orchestra, but it's smaller. Like, I don't know.
Band?
Maybe? Yeah, there is a bunch of like
Group?
musicians at a ball and he fireballed near them and it just and no survivors. I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? But yeah, but I feel like a game like that, talking about all the tables and everything, as a GM, like I feel like I would have to prep and know my players' sheets and what they might roll way ahead of time in game, which like leads to the question of, as a GM, like, do you study your players' character sheets? Like, do you actually like look ahead and be like, what are the outcomes of this? Or do you just kind of roll with it? Like,
No, for the most part, I roll with it.
okay.
Because there's nothing that the players could possibly do that would potentially break the game without me noticing.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what? A player adds on 5 hit points. When I've hit
Yeah.
them for 300 hit points a couple of times and they're not down,
Yeah.
that's when I'll kind of go, I'm just going to quickly double check just to make sure.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, I don't need to micromanage.
Yeah.
That's the player's job.
Okay.
The players should know their characters, and
Oh,
that's
absolutely. Yeah.
so when they say, okay, I've got this ability which does this, unless it sounds fucking ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go, yeah, all right. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
sounds
what
good.
this ability does. If I do have any queries, I'll look at it in
Yeah.
between sessions.
Oh, okay. I do it right in the middle of the game. Like, but that's, again, I'm doing this level up, which is very D&D friendly. But there's some things that, because like I said, it's D&D plus some. So there's some really cool abilities that my players have
Hmm.
that they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, that sounds awesome, but that sounds so awesome. Let me check real quick, because I'm just like, well, you can do that? Like, it's like, wait a minute, time out. Like, what? But it's been a fun switch so far.
No,
So
I mean, it's, as long as it's not something ridiculous, it's, yeah, I can go invisible forever. It's like, wait a minute, you may
I
have
can go
read that
invisible
wrong.
forever. It doesn't count as a turn, so I can still fight after I cast. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Just let me just double check that. But then again, that's kind of one of the reasons why I stepped away from Pathfinder.
Yeah,
I got sick of, oh, let's check this rule. It's like, for fuck's sake.
yeah,
I'd much
no.
rather play something a bit more freeform.
Well, and I like also what you're talking about that game earlier. The concept of being able to do things outside of your class,
Hmm.
or the stereotypical. I really love that option and that idea. Um, I don't see it a lot. I mean, I just may not be looking in the right places, but you see all these people that have these classes and then the stereotypical, abilities and this is this. But I like the idea of like, yeah, it'll cost more, it'll be harder. But I
Yeah.
like that because
Yeah. I
then it's
mean, that,
like, that's real life. Like, oh, like I can't jump. Okay. But if I trained hard enough,
you
maybe
could.
I
Yeah.
could, maybe I could hit the basketball hoop. Probably not. I'm very
So that,
averagely
yeah. So
short, but
that's kind of the idea behind it. It's a case
yeah.
of, right, just because you're not initially trained in this manner doesn't mean you can't not be trained in
Yeah.
this manner. And it does create very interesting character concepts. You can literally build whatever you want.
Hmm. Hmm. I might
To
have to remember that for down the road.
You definitely need a GM who knows how to run it though, because it is fucking brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sounds brutal.
It
Like,
is.
I was
It
actually
is.
just looking at just D6 system. I am recreating some sheets for Connell and character sheets and whatnot, and I'm looking at all the different like abilities and stuff within, and I'm going, or the skills, and I'm going, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, just from a character sheet point of view, I'm going, holy
Hmm.
hell. Like, but I don't know. I like the options. I think it's fun. But again, that goes back to, I like my game to feel like a game, you know.
Me too, but I think I don't like it to feel like a war game.
No, no, I'm with you there. Yeah.
So that's kind of like, again, not to
Yeah.
knock Pathfinder, I still think it is
Yeah.
the best at what it does. It's just what it does doesn't appeal to me anymore.
Right.
It's become, I may as well be playing Warhammer or Malifaux or something like
Yeah.
that. Just
Which
because,
I
oh, you
love.
have to be in this square to get flanking. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I don't think I've ever I think I did map battle once in my life.
Hmm.
And it wasn't horrible, but it was definitely like, okay, like we could have done without this. But on the complete flip side of that, it's been a long, long time since I've actually sat at a table. And that was such a really cool experience for me, was sitting at the table, having the map, having the little tokens, using our dice for marker. Like that was such a cool experience. But I don't think I think for me it takes away sometimes. Like if I can get lost theatrically in theater of the mind, I would much prefer that than looking at a page of going like, okay, I like go 2 squares over and then loop around, you know.
I mean, I've done a lot of maps, I've done a lot of
Yeah.
tokens, but I'm inclined to agree. I'm kind of now leaning more on the side of theater of the mind because I think
Mhm.
it creates better role play. Because I think the
Mhm.
moment that you've got a map and a grid and precise movement, people start to automatically
Yeah.
think in terms of mechanics, and they
Yeah.
start to go, okay, well, in this, like with this spell, I've got a reach of 25 feet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
you're 30 feet away. No can do.
Bummer. Yeah.
Whereas if I think if you're doing theater of the mind, gives you as a GM a lot more flexibility. It gives the
Yes.
players a lot more chance to be creative.
Yeah, I had a player do that to me yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry, last time I played. Wow, my brain. Told you, the not being at work has really messed with my timeline in my brain. But I had this treant, this cursed, horrible, whatever treant that was slowly making its way towards an encampment. One of my players was like, well, I was 60 feet, and then there's another 60 feet, and they made it there. So would I be able to? And I was just like, it's been walking towards you this whole time. Just make the spell. Like, like you trust me, you're in range.
Yeah, just wait till you have flying creatures and Pythagoras starts coming out. It's like, well, if I'm 20 foot horizontally, it must be. It's like, oh, fuck off. To the point where you just go, yes, you reach. I don't care.
Well, that's like, okay, in Inmates, there's the scene where you're a dipshit and you do something you're not supposed to. Yeah. And and I remember when that scene happened, like we were able to role play through that scene. And I think that if Connell had stopped and be like, well, technically you're 15 feet away, so you wouldn't have heard this or that, like that would have killed it. But we were able to just role play straight into that. And it was this beautiful storytelling thing that made me absolutely angry. But
But that's it. It's slowing down because in Pathfinder and D&D, it's when you get into combat, everything slows down.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I prefer systems where that isn't as noticeable. I prefer
Yeah.
systems where the shift isn't okay. Now we're going into initiative. Now we need to start focusing on what our
Right.
pieces of paper say, as opposed to what
Yeah.
you want to do as a character. Because sometimes I'll want to do something. My character will want to do something. Oh, but I don't have the skill,
Yeah.
so it
The
makes it
amount of times that's
completely
happened to
fucking
me.
pointless.
We were playing Mutants and Masterminds, and I was playing like a really, really fucked up version of like Batman 2.0. Like I was Batman's adopted daughter that's mentally like emotionally cut off. Not the point. And I had all
To
these
be
cool
fair,
ideas.
if Batman's your dad, you're
Right?
gonna you're gonna have fucking issues.
Exactly. Like that was the whole. It was. You would have loved that game, John. Like it was so dark, and not in like an overly dark way, but like realistically, like
Hmm.
oh, it was good. It was good. But anyways, the point is, I'm on this truck, and I've got my crossbow because that's my character's thing. And I was like, oh, I want to do this. And Connell just looks at me. He's like, no. Like, what do you mean no? He's like, that's not even possible. And I was like, okay, well, fine then. I got all butthurt about it. But like he just said in the chat, like some people need to know the exact measurements because for me, it is helpful for me to be like, I've learned to not ask, hey, can I do this and this? Be like, are they within 30 feet of me? You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I've switched from can I to like, you know. But it depends on the game, you know.
I mean, I kind of looked into running Pathfinder without maps and tokens, and
Oh.
so much is predicated on
Mm,
location, spells. Everything has a reach. Everything, and it's like it's just not
yeah.
feasible. You'd have to hand wave so many things that
Yeah.
you may as well play another game.
Might as well play D&D.
No, I will never stoop so low. I've got self-esteem.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play a game of Level Up. And you're gonna play it. And you're gonna realize it's not that bad.
I mean, I'm still thinking of running some Tales of the Valiant, but that's just to piss Justin off.
I mean, that definitely needs to happen. That needs to,
You know,
and then we need to play the ourselves
yeah,
classes.
yeah, we need
Yeah.
to, we need to bring the monk in with the awesome technique points.
Yeah, I can play the barbarian.
Yup. Yeah,
I
Couch
was
just
just
put in the
reading cat.
chat
Yeah.
that spending 30 minutes on figuring out spacing, speed, range just for a 5-foot step to ruin the whole plan. A chess game with 800 steps and rules, storytelling RPGs where I smash speeds up everything.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't agree more, to be fair, man. I'm just gonna have a look quick chat, live stream chat. The other one. Yeah, no one's in the other chat. It's all on YouTube today.
Okay.
So
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I keep forgetting there's another chat. Like, oh no. But to be fair, like I again, I think it depends on the game, because there are some games where I want to sit down and I want to see all the fun little things that go with it. And then there's some games where I don't. Like, and I think it just depends on what vibe I want. Like, if it is a one shot, it's gonna take 4 hours, the story's done. Yeah, a goofy little number, but
I mean, I feel like something like Pathfinder is more suited to people who like to play online RPGs.
oh,
Because
that's
it
a fair
is very
point.
much predicated on, okay, I'm going to get this and combine it with this and do that,
Yeah,
and you're making a combination out of pieces.
that's a fair point.
Whereas other systems, I do consider them more role play friendly, as it were.
Yeah. Well, I think that this might be a little hot. I don't know. I think a good GM can cultivate both of those things in a healthy way. Um, it's hard as fuck, but I think a good GM can do it. I think a good GM can have a crunch in mechanics and still give plenty of space for role play. But I think that depends on your table, it depends on your players, it depends on your GM, the style of game. Like, there's so many things that go into it that I can't make that blanket statement of like, oh, a good GM can do it, because there's
No, I
a
mean,
lot of
yeah, I think
ingredients in
you
it.
hit the nail on the head with the second thing, because it does depend on the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
even if you are a GM who likes to narrate everything and, okay, so you fire your arrow, it just glances off and all
Uh-huh.
this. If you don't have a table which is receptive to that and responsive to that,
Yeah.
then it's not going to work. Doesn't matter how good a GM. It's all about the cohesion with the table.
Mm-hmm.
So when players are forced to think mechanically, it's harder to get them role playing.
Yeah, that's fair. Connell just made a good point about how like combat can be RP heavy. That's a good combat in my opinion. I like a blend. I like a good balance. I like a good blend. I'm not heavy one way or another. But you do, like you said, the table, because we've had. I hope Megan watches this at some point, because I'm going to pick on her a little bit. We can have a player where like she gets super into these like angsty moments where she goes sit by the water and stare out at the water, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, what are we supposed to do with you on that? But she's so attentive to combat that when she comes in. So she's a good balance of both. And then we've had a previous player where like his character would go off on RP mood swings in the middle of combat, and we're going, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I don't like how so and so's tone this and this, and we're going, he's no longer with us, but I can still pick on him. Like, it's just those things where I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think I think that there does have to be a healthy balance at a table, which is why I'm terrified of joining random tables. I'm just gonna put it out there, like,
You shouldn't
especially
be
like,
though. You shouldn't be,
oh my
because
gosh.
random tables are always like, from my experience, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously I organized a lot of random tables and I played at a lot of random tables. There's always a baseline, and that's kind of where they hover. There's there's the kind of middle ground everybody
Okay.
kind of clings to just to be safe. So
Mm.
nobody kind of goes in with the whole "I watch too much Critical Role" bullshit.
No. Just gonna throw it out there.
And then nobody, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
There is kind of that
Yeah.
they are quite balanced in terms of role play
Okay.
versus mechanics. Even Pathfinder Society, which is basically all mechanics.
Hmm. I'll try it maybe. I don't know. I mean, you could. Some people would argue like, "Oh, you've been in a random table before." I'm like, it wasn't random though, because I always try to have like one comfort person with me.
Mm.
Like someone that I know that I played with before that I'm like, okay, like I know that person, we're good. But that's also like I have had one extreme to the other when it comes to table experiences where I've had amazing like tables where it's like, oh my God, this is perfect. And then I've had tables where I'm going, why are we doing this? Why are we playing this game if everyone is miserable together? Like,
Well, I mean, inmates.
oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was, I mean, I'd played with Justin. Stefan
Mhm.
had GM'd for us.
Right. I played with Connell, well, GM'd with them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd never played with you, never played with Connell, never actually played with Stefan. And it
That's
was
a fair point.
and it was a case of, okay, let's do this one shot. Let's get in,
Yeah.
do
One
this,
shot.
record it, let's see what happens. And about an hour in, it's like, I want to do this more. And
Me and Stefan were joking about that because we're like, it's supposed to be a mini series. Like, it's not a forever thing. It's just like a mini, game on the create list. And then he's like, but what if we want to keep playing after it's done? I'm like, I know, I want to keep playing after it's done. It's like, maybe we can convince Connell to let us keep playing. Like, the show's done with us. We're going to keep playing on the side.
no, it was, yeah, definitely. It's,
It's good.
and to be honest, it was quite similar when we played Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, yeah, I
Although
can't wait to see that.
I don't really have the time to bring out another ongoing show.
Right.
So that's pretty much, we will
Yeah.
probably get to the same group of people, but it was just a really good group of people. We'd had a session 0 which went off the fucking rails, and it was a really fun time. And afterwards it's like, we've got to do something again. And we will
Yeah.
100% do something again.
And that's like I said, I am such a broken record. Someone slapped me. I cannot wait to move. I want my own house. I want my home, but like, I want my time back. Like, I want to be able to sit down and be like, yeah, I'm going to run a game this weekend without being like, no, I'm exhausted mentally because I just, packed and unpacked and yeah, no, like, mm. But that being said, I just saw his wait to see what Couch comes in with. I guess Couch already has his character made up for inmates.
Yeah, that is true. And speaking of Couch, I did say I don't have time to actually do another show, but Couch, if you wanted to do a fabulous show,
Mm. I
we'd
mean, I thought
find,
we already were.
you know, much like life in Jurassic Park, we will find we will find a way.
We will find a way. I was actually starting to call about that because, like I said, I'm doing a lot of game art, and there's game art I have to do. Like, I have game art for my personal table that I don't charge for. I have my commissions, but then I was like, I kind of want to draw Trey, my little blue mohawk, like.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing Trey.
Right? Oh, you'd be interested in seeing her for other reasons, but remember the
I'm
Tifa?
lost.
Oh, you didn't remember. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I judged you prematurely. My apologies. We were joking about things based off Tifa.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a 41-year-old man. I mean, everybody likes boobs, but it's
Yeah.
not for me.
Been there, done that.
Not a driving force anymore.
I've never. This is totally off. You know what? We're not even gonna go down that road. We're not gonna go down. We will stay on topic. It is a gaming show.
Hey, if you want to turn this podcast into talking about tits,
right? Like,
that's great. I mean, everybody loves them.
I just never understood the Laura Croft fascination. Like, remember when
Perfect pyramids there.
Right? Right. Like, I remember being very young, and it was like pre Angelina Jolie movie. Like, it was the original games, and people were freaking out about Lara Croft being hot. And I'm like, it looks like building blocks. What are y'all like?
But to be fair, we didn't have an alternative. That
That's
was the
fair.
best that technology could do at the time. And right then, I mean, you laugh now, but right then, looking back, it was like, holy shit, that looks real.
That's fair. That's
Fast
fair.
forward a few, because it wasn't only Lara Croft, she's the prime example. But I remember because I was massively into Tekken.
Oh,
I was watching
dude.
playing Tekken 1. I was like, holy fuck, this is the future. And and then obviously future games came out, and you look back at Tekken and just kind of go, oh, that's rough. That's fucking rough.
Yeah. I actually, when we were designing Trey, and by I mean there was no designing Trey. Literally, Couch was like, what do you like? I'm like, these things. He goes, ooh, that doesn't really work. We'll go with this. I'm like, okay, perfect. And then I just kind of on a drive home from New York, which is a 10-hour drive. I'm on the phone with Connell. He's helping me stay awake. And I was like, are they just gonna have a blue mohawk? I'm a designer kind of like Tifa, but have the attitude of the kid from Cowboy Bebop that I always forget the name.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
I
was
know who you
like,
mean.
yeah.
Couch in the chat will probably contribute now that you've mentioned anime.
Literally, though, his last comment is exactly where I'm headed this conversation. Dead or Alive jiggle physics. I literally, while thinking about Trey, was like, she needs to look like she came straight out of Dead or Alive because that's the video game I grew up on.
Hey, I'll tell you what, in terms of video games, Dead or Alive, apart from the obvious, had some of the best grapple mechanics in any
Also,
fucking
like,
game.
storyline. Hello. Like, can we talk about the way they weaved all those like character storylines? And it was great. It was great.
And to be honest, one of the better of the like movie conversions back in the day.
Yeah.
It was shit, but it was less shit than others.
Remind me to ask you about Tales of Virtue way down the road, or Warriors of Virtue, not Tales. That is neither here nor there. That's another podcast completely.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. Oh, you know what? That's what we're gonna base our Tales of the Valiant game on. I'm just telling you right now.
All right.
Warriors of Virtue. It's very monk friendly, so Justin will hate it. It's elemental, so it's kind of magic-y, and everybody's a kangaroo.
Okay. So are you doing Tales of the Valiant or Level Up?
I'll do Level Up. You do Tales of the Valiant.
All right.
Yeah. We'll balance it out. It'll be great.
I am going to wait until I get my hard copy though, because that's in protest.
Oh.
I want my fucking hard copy. I paid for the damn thing. Everywhere else in the world has fucking got it except me.
You know what I absolutely hate? Speaking of hard copies, Kickstarter launched for their Void Runner, or Void Runner launched on Kickstarter right as I like finished my job. So I actually super tight on what I spend money on, and I'm just like, man, like I could go without food for a week. Like,
you know, I mean, I'm sure you can just eat like tins of beans or something for a week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like, I think there's some corn up there, like in a can, like canned corn.
Hey, rice.
Don't even joke. That's like my number one. I live off rice.
Rice in a rice cooker. You're fine. You'd be grand.
Yes, rice in a rice cooker and tuna. I get tuna and put it in my rice, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that actually sounds quite good.
Yeah. Yep.
But so we were yes.
Hey, I do have one thing. Connell wants me to spoil the idea. Tell him about the Tidehaven thing. Okay. We played Pathfinder. No, it wasn't Pathfinder. I'm sorry. We played Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds, because we're gonna switch it to Pathfinder. And we did a pirate game, Tidehaven. It was amazing. This is where I played my half-elf, storm, paladin, everything. Everyone loved the game. Everyone loved the characters. The game mechanics themselves of Savage Worlds just didn't fit, and we ended up switching games. Okay. Connell is frequently switching games with the premise of we will go back to it later. And to be completely honest, we've gone back to characters and games before. However, he wants to take this Tidehaven team, this like pirate group, and translate the entire storyline to Void Runner in space. So it's very doable. I'm curious how the hell he's going to do it, but I'm super excited.
Honestly, it shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, I don't know how like fantasy-ish Void Runner is going to be, but
even if you make it fantasy-ish, you know, you basically add in, because Void Runner is the space version of Level Up, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you need to grab stuff from Level Up, do that.
I'm hoping that it is like the Starfinder equivalent, where there's still going to be elements of fantasy in it. Even if not, like you said, I can grab it and run with it. Well, Connell will, because Connell's running the game. But
no, it's perfect. It's perfectly doable.
But it's super exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a space geek, hard, but you know.
Yeah, I've been looking into doing a bit more sci-fi stuff as of late, because you know I think my niches kind of need to expand a tiny bit. And the only real sci-fi experience I've got is Starfinder.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, don't get me wrong, like it, but for very much the same reason as kind of ditching Pathfinder, I want to ditch that as well, and probably pick something up a bit more fluid or a bit more neat, like a bit more
Yeah.
directed. I'd love to play the Alien RPG.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah, I want to play that so bad. I don't know why. Like there's like you can go into like the psychology of like when I was done with school and my mom was cooking dinner and she didn't want to like deal with me. Her like, oh, go and do this for a minute. She'd stick me in front of the TV and throw on like Babylon 5 or Star Trek,
Yeah.
things like that. So like I think that probably has a lot to do with it. The other part is that when we went to go watch movies, it was never like I was the little one, so nobody wanted to watch my movies, so I had to watch everyone else's movies. So like Alien versus Predator, things
Yeah.
like that. Which I'm not complaining. Like I love that stuff. So I want to play Alien. I want to play more sci-fi. And like you said, whenever I feel like I'm getting comfortable in a genre, I like I'm
You
playing
need
Level Up
to,
right now.
yeah, you
Yeah.
need to kind of break out a tiny
I
bit.
was gonna do Household next because I love it so much, but it's fantasy. So I'm sitting here going, oh, should I go a different direction? Like just for a little bit? I don't know.
Connell has put in the chat, and he's very correct that there is a Forged in the Dark sci-fi called Scum and Villainy.
I'd play it just for the title.
It's yeah, it's essentially a Star Wars inspired Blades in
gosh.
the Dark, where you're playing like rogues in space. I have already looked it up. I am planning on doing something with it. I'm not quite ready to reveal what yet, but I've already kind of looked it up.
Okay. I'm excited to see what that is.
It's going to be a while because I've got another, because it's going to be part of an ongoing campaign, because the idea is in this world where little pockets of civilization have kind of survived, I want to run mini campaigns, but each of them, albeit being part of the same world, are very different. So the first one is going to be underground, and it's going to be an underground cyberpunk city. And it's going to be Blades in the Dark. So you are going to be playing as a crew who are building, sort of filling out their ranks, building esteem, and slowly trying to take over the city. The other idea I had was in the same world, somewhere deep beneath the ocean, there is an underwater settlement, and I was going to use Scum and Villainy for that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Instead of being space, you are Stargate Atlantis.
Oh my gosh. The fact you know that reference just made me all sorts of happy.
Without and what was the other? No, there was one where it was like, it didn't last very long. There was a
another
series.
Stargate, or
no, it wasn't Stargate, but it was a similar premise of like an underwater sort of adventure, SeaWorld, but not SeaWorld. Something. It had a name along those lines.
I'll have to look into that. I've just recently done that. I'm like having fever dreams of shows I watched as a kid that I'm looking up online again, and I'm finding them, and I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah. But they're old whatevers. There's a lot of good stuff coming out game wise. I was actually Colin sent me this thing because he rolls his eyes every time I talk about it because I won't shut up about it. I want to run an 80s themed game, fantasy, right? Like modern 80s fantasy. And they actually found out there's this thing called 80s Adventures. It's not out yet, but it's coming to Kickstarter. It's not official, so I haven't I didn't put it on the thing. But like I have a whole modern fantasy. Did you ever watch Bright on Netflix?
Yeah, I'd never watched it, but I know what it is.
Okay.
I know enough about it.
It's that vibe, but 80s. And I'm like, I want to play it so bad, but I
the show I was thinking of was Sequest DSV.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So that is going to be like the second part of the campaign. So yeah, looking forward to that. But again, it's finding the fucking time.
Yeah, like what is up with that? Like, I have so many closed door games I want to run. I have games I want to run for my table, my home table. There's games I want to run online for random people. There's times I'm like, I should pitch this to John. I'll run a one shot on the crit list, and then I'm like, when do I have time for any of this? Like what? Like after I move. That's after I move.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this with me because I still need to run Delta Green for you guys.
Yeah.
I've got a game with Craig coming up, playing his Persona and
Yes.
Shadowlight and Persona.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've got
I'm
that.
actually
So Delta Green is a good
we're
one.
going to be playing Shadowlight and Persona this month in July.
It's a fun system. Very
I'm
fun.
excited.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and we had a good table. Again, it was a case of meeting all these random people and kind of going, "Hey, I like you people."
Yeah, and that's my favorite thing about this hobby is you can, like, as much as we're joking about like bad tables and like, oh, things don't max out, like the likeliness of that happening is very small. Like the it's more likely for you to sit down, find a whole bunch of random strangers and be like, oh, I like you, because you have something in common.
Yeah.
Like that's how I made all my New York friends. I mean, I'm moving to New York and I made all these friends because it's like, oh, we have so much in common because we have the same hobbies, you know? So it works out in the end. And honestly, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like this whole thing, this whole sort of project since we started the podcast and getting on threads and meeting people such as yourself and Connell and Stefan, and the list is endless. The amount of people that we're getting to know and interacting with and getting to play games with these people is fucking phenomenal.
I love it. It's amazing. It really is. I have been slightly quiet on social media lately just because I've been kind of like, I slept so much this weekend. I feel like my body, like the lack of stress caught up my body and it just went, okay, peace out. And I was like, I woke up twice and I was like, I woke up and like, all right, it's time to get up. I'm just gonna, this is nice. And then I was out again. And I was like, what is going on with my body? But hopefully I'll be able to regulate soon.
No, for me, it's just constantly busy.
Yeah, well, you're one of those, okay? You have kids, you've got like this actual job, like, you know, actual job. I don't know, it's not an actual job, but you're not only like on this stuff, but you're editing it. Like you got a lot, you know, at some point we're gonna start delegating.
At some point, but right
At some
now
point.
but I mean, I think I was talking to Connell about it on Threads the other day when he's mentioned something about he's gonna plan to do nothing but not really do nothing because apparently he's been told that he can't sit still. It's like, hey, that's just me. I'm like that.
Yeah.
I will end this show tonight. I will get Riverside to do the couple of things it needs to do. I'll go to the gym. I'll come back and I'll start editing in order to release tonight.
Which is awesome. And like, I'm all for it. That's what I'm gonna be once I move.
Once you move,
I need a shirt. That's gonna be the shirt once I move. Like
once Atlas moves, the move is coming.
Yes. Yes.
I think we can do better. I think we can do better than that. I think we can do.
I was like literally sitting here going, this will be if we move it, like if the move goes through this month like it's supposed to. We're having issues with the seller's lawyer. That's a whole other story. But like I will have moved three times in 6 months.
That's a lot. That's a lot in 6 months.
It's a lot. I'm tired, man. Like just the thought of like packing up my boxes and moving 3 states away again. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like this is exhausting.
So do we actually have a date for the move? Do we actually have
No, we literally had everything is taken care of. Everything. We are waiting for the seller's lawyers to get us title work back. My real estate agent, my lawyer, like all of they are very aware. I start training on August 5th and they're like, we need to get, this sold, we need to get moved in, we need to get a close date. And their lawyers are just like, oh yeah, okay. I'm like, okay.
But you will be leaving your house at some point.
At some point, yeah. If worst comes to worst, there might be a week or two where I have to do this show in Connell's bedroom again because I have all of my new gear for my new job going to his house because I don't know when I'm going to be up there. So I'm like, hey, I may be like camping out in your living room for, a couple weeks training at my new job.
No, that's quite all right. We will work around you.
Yeah.
And we have, I mean, just to give people an early heads up.
Yes.
We will most likely be switching days.
Not time though, right? Not times though, just days, right?
Times we can look into. We haven't quite landed on that, but
yeah.
Obviously with new jobs, new responsibilities, new timetables, we are going to have to kind of work around that. Yeah. And we may go back to doing Sundays because obviously Justin's out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reason we were doing Mondays was to kind of accommodate for his personal situation as well as my own. But I think we're going to have to shift things around and probably go back
Worst
to
case
doing Sundays.
scenario, I can stay up until like 2, 3 a.m. my time, which would be like what, 5, 6 in the morning your time, and we can do a morning show.
Nobody wants to see me on a morning. Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit and fuck off.
You need your coffee in the morning, huh?
I need my coffee. I need my solitude. I need a lot of things on a morning that I will not have by the time we record.
Do you have you need this in order to DM or GM or play? Like, do you have a drink or a snack or I have to have my water. I have to have a fuzzy drink, which tends to be like carbonated water because I'm trying to get away from Coke. Yeah, and I need some sort of
ladies
gummy.
and gentlemen, she means the drink.
Yes.
Just gotta.
Well, and to make it even more complicated, like my Americanese, my childhood was split between California, Georgia, and Texas. So my dialect is so weird because my waitress is like, oh, do you want a drink? And I'm like, yeah, can I have a Coke? And they'll bring me a Coca-Cola. And I'm like, I forgot I'm in the North. Like, no, it's like specific. Because for me, it's like, do you want a Coke? Yeah, what kind? Sprite. That kind of thing. But it's neither here nor there. But I do have to comment. Couch and Connell are chatting up in the chat. I love our chat. Can we talk about our chat room? Like,
one second. I just thought we'd.
Yeah.
There you go. Just a little message from Too Legit to Crit.
Yes. Don't do drugs, because then you'll end up like I was at the last session with Justin, and I was like seeing like sounds and hearing colors, and it was rough. I was trying so hard to look normal in that one. I was like, okay, yeah, and I feel like I talked so much. Occasionally, I'd look over at you, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
You did. To be fair, you did give me fair warning that you were hyped up on sugar.
I did. It was bad. I don't even remember what I was on.
Sugar. It was sugar. You were
Mountain Dew, the Baja Blast.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay. Yeah.
So you were saying, let's give a shout out to chat.
Yes, because they're actually talking about our Saturday hangouts. Couch. We love Couch. Like, I think I'm adopting Couch, and he's no longer yours. He's ours.
No, he's mine.
Because the Fabula game was awesome, and he's been popping in on the my Discord, the Adventures Discord. It's a super chill art hangout, and sometimes we just play games and hang out. But Couch showed up at work the other day. I don't know if should I say that? Should I not say that? I don't know. I don't want to get him in trouble. But he just shows up random times doing life and things, and yeah.
No, that's.
I wasn't gonna say that, Connell, because I don't want to get him in trouble if anybody from his work is watching this. But yeah, too late.
He's the manager. Fuck him.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're right. He's just like,
he can do what he wants.
Got to be the nerd Americans, according to all of his co-workers and co-chefs or whatever they're called. Co-chefs. Is that
co-chefs?
A thing?
I think that's it. I think Couch walks into work every day and goes, "Hi, co-chef," and everybody, "Hi, co-chef." It's like the whole
thing.
It's like the whole doctor thing. It's just co-chef, co-chef,
co-chef,
co-chef.
Not to be mistaken with kosher.
No. That's
no.
Co-chef.
Co-chef. You gotta emphasize the
I mean, it just reminds me. It reminds me of, without going into any detail, without potentially getting myself in trouble.
Oh.
Let's just say, I may have been part of an organization which had a new CEO, and they were obsessed with the word colleagues.
Oh no!
And it was just been every fucking staff meeting. Hello, colleagues, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh, that's like I don't know if I can say this or not. Let me think about it for a hot second. I don't think anybody watches this. So
well, you're thinking about it. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our partners, because we're getting to the point where it's like, we're not going to mention them today.
Oh, I didn't realize what time it is. Go.
Okay, so check out Deals of Opportunity. It's the automatic, simple, and free way to save on your tabletop role playing games that you want. Just add your Drive Through RPG and Dungeon Masters Guild wish list and get notified anytime a title on your list goes on sale. Just set it up and save. Also, big shout out to 13th Moon Games. It's a family run indie company out of Wyoming, USA that created the tabletop role playing game Coven and Crucible. It's a game of modern day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a very pretty baby, Coven and Crucible would be it. I played it. I fucking loved it. And
We're
that's
on the books. I'm gonna play it.
that's going to be something else on the to-do list. And also check out our merch store where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, desk mats, and all other crap that I think that people may need with our logo.
I think
on
I'm
them.
gonna start making stickers. I think I'm gonna start designing stickers of quotes we've said on the show and just slap it on there. People
Sweet.
can get stickers. Yeah.
Yeah, like it. Like it.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to think of a Atlas Moves related t-shirt. I'll come up with something.
So Atlas shrugged. Atlas moved. Like, oh, there it is.
I'm going to get to work on that.
There we go.
So if you like what we can do, you can support us by subscribing. You can tell your friends about us. You can leave us a review. And also, if you want to help towards the actual financial cost of running this shindig, we are on Ko-Fi. Is it Ko-Fi or coffee? I like coffee.
I call it Ko-Fi. Is it coffee? Oh, that makes so much more sense.
I don't know. Buy us a coffee. Basically, that's the way I see it. But yeah, get on there and get us a, feel free to donate a coffee. It will help towards running costs. And I am thinking of like doing sort of tiers and rewards. No fucking clue what that will be right now, but still working.
We got some ideas. Yeah.
We got some ideas.
If you have ideas, drop it in the chat or message us on Threads or something.
That is a good shout.
If you can't message on Threads, you know what I mean.
So, have you thought about what was rattling around in your mind?
No, it's completely gone.
All right.
I even forgot what it was in relation to be honest.
All right. I do want to bring something to your attention, though.
Yeah.
This is something, every now and again on Threads, I'll put out a post where it's like, you got shit to promote. If you got shit that you're proud of, tell us, sort of thing. And the last one I did went ridiculous. This one, we got some good sort of kickbacks. This is one where I kind of went, fuck yes.
I'm so happy because the donuts thing, I can't get over that from last time. So
the donuts thing. The donuts thing was awesome. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen for a second.
Oh, couch. Higher tier gets to play in a game with the host. It's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad shout. That may be something that's really happening.
Yeah.
All right. So.
What is this?
Okay, so this is Holomatixx. It is a new wave order. And the way it was explained to me, I need to find this on Threads because this is, if you ever want to sell me something, this is how you fucking do it. Let me just try and find it. See, I would have, would have been good had I have tested this first. But anyway, so this is this was sent in to me from Nerdy City. So it's in the final days of our Kickstarter for Holomatixx, a new wave order, a tabletop role-playing game about secret 80s rock stars with music video powers.
What?
How do you not fucking love that?
Okay. My brain just went into overgear. I'm like super on vampire brain right now. Because you're like, oh, how perfect would that be to do the Lost Boys thing too?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Okay, so it's a new game from Nerdy City. You and your friends were normal teens in 1986 until you were gifted with new wave rock star alter egos by the musical intelligence Rhapsody. Now you can use the outrageous powers of the videosphere and your own heart to inspire the world, fight against the riotous shriekers and alien compellers, and still try to make it to history class on time.
Oh, man. I love this.
Yeah, me too.
Do we know anything about the system? Like, is it...
No, I haven't looked that far ahead.
Hey, Sometimes this concept is so cool that I'm like, I don't care. I will try it no matter what system it is.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the system can be punching each other in the face, and I will still be interested in playing
Right?
this.
Yeah. Oh man.
But they do have some actual plays, which
Okay.
I'm
That's always helpful.
definitely going to be checking out.
Yeah.
I think it's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, so the Holomatixx persona gives you normal teen both. Gives your normal teen both perfect pitch and perfect disguise. Who needs a mask when you have the wildest 80s fashions?
That is so
You
accurate.
develop your band. You make real live music videos using your vibes, riffs, and quirks. I
I
love this. I love
this
every.
is great.
Ah.
This is borderline the food truck thing, the horror food
Yeah,
truck game,
this is
which I
honestly.
actually might be my next game to palette wash everybody. Just
Mm.
by the way.
No, that's good. This is one that I'm definitely gonna kind of look into because I just
Yeah.
love the concept of it. Just
Couch just said Hannah Montana. A little bit, a little bit.
hey, I'd play Hannah Montana. Fuck that.
Were the 80s fashion in Europe the same as us? Like, were you guys doing the weird, like,
I was I was young in the 80s.
oh yeah.
I like to think so. Although, like a lot of movies from back then, I'm not entirely sure how much was kind of translated over here.
See, 80s Europe fashion. Let's see
I
what comes
think
up.
I think a lot of it was. I think a lot of it was.
Oh, I mean, I just typed in 80s Europe fashion and Freddie Mercury popped up. So yeah, we'll go. We'll go with yeah.
Yeah, get like Couch said, look up the new romantics.
Oh Lord. Do I need to have a filter on this?
I
Is that a band?
don't know, but I'd be weird. I'd be honestly kind of concerned that if you type in the word romantic, that sort of shit pops up on your.
Oh, them. Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. So 80s vibes, I think, was worldwide 80s vibes.
I mean, how could it not be?
Yeah. Yeah. Like every now and then there's an era that pops up and it's like everywhere tunes into the same level. That makes me curious though. Hang on.
Okay, what we're looking for? What we're looking.
I am looking up 80s Japanese street fashion. Yeah. Yep.
80s was a phenomenon, and it's
Huh.
it's still loved to this day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like my comfort like clothes. My girls make fun of me because it's like I look like I just popped out of the 90s. It's not the 80s, but it's the skater pants, it's the like the loose baggy, the colors. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta love the 80s, and like any game which kind of like
Yeah. I
helms
went
the 80s. I can't think of the word I was looking for
I
then.
went through a slight 80s revolt, I guess, because I knew a lot of guys in my area that were like the metal 80s, like, and they were assholes. There's no way around it. And that kind of turned me off of it for a bit until I discovered like 80s synth music. And then I'm going, okay, no, we're good. Like Lost Boys, 80s synth, I'm good. Like that's what I want right
Yeah, I
there.
was 8 when the 80s finished, so I was a bit young to
How?
kind of.
You're not wait. Oh, math. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, Matt, it's when you get a number and you add on a certain amount of numbers, it
I was a 90s
gets you
kid.
to another number. So that's kind of how that works.
I would say math is hard, but I can't because English is hard. So
But yeah, so yeah, I didn't really partake too much in the whole 80s fashion, and I don't believe my brothers do. I've got older brothers. I don't really think they were massively entrenched in the 80s fashion either.
I don't have any pictures of my family, like my parents from like I it's never like, oh, that was the 80s. It's almost like it goes from like them being super, super young to boom 90s. Like
Hmm.
all of our family photos are from the 90s, which is when I came into the picture.
Yeah.
Um, and it is 90s.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 90s. Don't get me wrong. In the 90s, I did have an aesthetic.
I mean,
We'll
I was
leave.
like
We'll
itty
leave
bitty,
that
so
benched.
all right. So I'm not only getting the airplane to Europe, I'm gonna go hiking through your house trying to find pictures.
To be honest, I don't have any. Like,
What?
no,
Do your
I
parents?
mean, probably. I mean, I don't even have any pictures of me
I
as
have a
me as a
really
goth
good.
boy.
What?
No, there are
Okay.
no pictures in existence of it. And trust me, I have searched.
Introduce me to your parents. Leave me alone with them for 20 minutes. Connell literally sent me to drop his parents off, and an hour later, I went through all of his baby photos and stuff. Like I don't know. I have this thing with parents. I love parents, and they just want to show me all their pictures. So
Oh, my parents will share. I mean,
yes, let's
they
go.
could have never met you before. You could knock on their door to try and sell them a vacuum, and they would be going, do you want to see some pictures?
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Oh, this is him when he was still a sweet little boy.
You had a phase?
I
That was
did.
sweet? Ooh.
My sweet little boy phase lasted until probably mid-teens.
I can't find a single picture of me that doesn't look like I'm not up to something. Like I look like I am a ball of mischief in every single baby photo I have.
I wasn't mischievous, but I was a lot of times the instigator, and I'd
Oh,
get people to do
oh.
stuff because that'd be fun.
Okay, shocker, liberator. I mean, John. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we play to our strengths.
I guess.
Now, another thing that crops up on threads, which I don't have much for other than the thread
Okay.
itself, but it sounds fucking phenomenal.
Okay.
This was sent in by Adrian the Writer, and it is I'm working on a game called Starborne about witches in space.
I saw that. I saw that on your threads, and I was like, "Oh,
It's
that's
set on Menagerie Station, a city-side space, free-floating space station somewhere in deep space. It's a place of magic, magic and piracy, full of various peoples and cultures all working and living together, hidden from the strict gaze of the inquisitors who hunt magic users in the name of public safety." That just
you know."
sounds amazing.
It sounds amazing. You know what I love about game designers or people writing games or whatever you want to call them right now is that people are literally going, I like this, this, and this, ball it up, throw it into a game. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah, it's like when we were interviewing our peers, like, yeah, okay, so I had an idea for Vikings, and it's like, oh shit,
I still can't get over the bug samurai thing. That
Samurai
one.
Bugs needs to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Samurai Bugs needs to happen.
I might just like throw that into my household game. Might as well. Yeah.
I mean, you could potentially use Songs and Sagas for it.
I could, but I really, really need to learn the original household stuff first.
Speaking of Two Little Mice, I do. If anybody wants to get me a birthday present, I want Outgunned.
If anyone gives me a birthday present, I want household hardcover copy. Apparently, it sells mainly in Europe, and that's why it's really expensive to get it over here. So,
Okay, I tell you what, if I can get it, I can see about sending it.
yeah, I'll pay you for it. Like, yeah, because that. Oh, it's
yeah.
they're Italian, right?
I do believe so. I do believe it is an
Yeah.
Italian company. Yeah.
Yeah, because the only hardcover I can find that will like ship to US is eBay, and it's like it double the price.
Really?
Like, yeah. So, of course, I could also just have to look in the right places.
So Connell just bought the Outgunned bundle. He wants the physical book. To be fair, I am kind of inclined to get the physical book as well. I just like the idea of having like a narrative action movie.
Yeah. Yes.
That just
It looks
sounds
so good.
Yeah.
I keep calling. I'm like, what are we gonna play that with? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, figure it out.
I mean, that's the sort of shit that I would homebrew. It's like I don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm that annoying player at Connell's table where I'm just like, hey, so what do you think for game? He's like, I don't know. It's like the game isn't for another like 2 weeks. I'm like, so what you thinking for game? Like, I'm a menace.
There you go. Couch is put quite rightly in the chat. PDFs for John is back.
Yes, PDFs for John.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Charity Drive.
Oh no, that's the wrong. That was the wrong one.
I've never done a recreational drug, ever. Like, ever.
I don't want to comment.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. Like legit, I think I'm too scared. Everyone's like, what they found. Like, nah, like the amount of health issues wrong with my body, I don't even want to take that risk. Like, no, good. Action Flick's book has rules for space. Yes, anything for space. PDS for Juan. Juan. Do you want to buy a PDF?
Hey! Yes, I want one.
I had tacos Saturday night. It was amazing, by the way. Completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated because different country.
No, but the J made me think of it.
Fair enough.
Like, oh yeah, tacos. I mean, Spain has tacos. Spain also has a gorgeous princess. I just found out.
You probably know more than me. You probably know more than me. I've kind of disconnected from that for a while back.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
On top of the fact that I'm not a royalist, as it were.
Yeah, I am shocked. Like,
you're shocked that I'm not a royalist?
No, I'm shocked they exist. Like, I somehow ended up on royalist TikTok the other day, and just video after video after video of not just like British royalty, which there's some really funny conspiracy theories out there about that. Like, I am dying laughing. I kind of want to stay on it just so I can hear them. But like countries all over the world. And I'm like, I need to do like, I don't know. I need to turn that into some sort of game of some sort.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've met a fair few people who are like, oh, the royal family can do no wrong. It's like, beg to differ.
Someone made a comment about like, you know, after the queen passed, like everything's gone to shit. And they're like, see, she was the alien making it all work together. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. I've heard a lot of the weird conspiracies, like everybody's lizards and shit like that.
Oh yeah, and the robot people, lizard people. There's a whole bunch of stuff. We should make a conspiracy game. Like, you have to solve the conspiracy, figure out which one's real, which one's not.
Yeah, I figure that could work.
I don't know how we do it. Almost like an X-Files vibe, maybe, but
yeah, we'll think of that. We'll think of. I mean, to be honest, Delta Green kind of leans into that quite a bit.
Yeah, I was actually, as I said that, I'm like, I wonder if
Delta Green kind of has that corner
I
covered.
would know, but you know, I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. Like, I have room to talk shit because like I have no time for anything.
No, but when you move, you will.
Yes, when I move, I will, and I'll have a whole room of just like game. It's gonna be wonderful.
No, I mean that's the dream. I want a games room. But it's weird because I'm not the sort of person that invites anyone around my house. So I'd be like, I'll have a games room for me.
I love having people over at my house. Like I'm that. I used to host my D&D game at my house, and I bought like Starbucks drinks for everybody, and I bought pizza for everybody, and I'd make all these side chips and dips and special things for everybody. Like, it was a whole ordeal. I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm like, if people are coming over to game at my house, like I feed everybody. I make sure there's special things for everybody. Like, I love it.
I mean, I think if once I get the space to do it, I probably will. Yeah. But like Couch said about a paella, I was like, yeah, I'll do a game night paella.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. See, let's
there you go.
Let's keep it healthier than other options. And your traditional pizza.
I think my goal. Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with pizza. Okay, pizza is like my comfort food. But you know what's funny? Wait, do you guys have Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Okay. Pizza Hut is not fancy. It's not healthy. It's not even great quality half the time. That is my feel-good pizza. Like, no matter what, if I'm having a day, if I'm sad, if I want to celebrate, like, Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
There's better pizza out there, but that's my comfort food. Like,
I haven't done Pizza Hut for a long time. I've found a pizza place that I like. It's, price is reasonable. I don't mind the pizzas. They're quite good.
You can walk to a pizza store from my house. My new
house.
I
can walk to one from mine.
I'm so excited.
I don't, but I can.
I'm so excited. Yeah, there's a Stewart's, which has like ice cream and subs. There's a pizza place, and there's a coffee place that I can walk to. And I'm like, see, I walk to all those places. I get all the snacks. I come back. I game the hell out of my weekends. Like, if I have my way, I will possibly be running a game every other week.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, mostly like mini games and like one shots, but if I
Oh
had
yeah,
my way.
yeah. I want to get in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely.
be good stuff.
All right, and I think that's about all we've got time for tonight.
All right.
It's been absolutely lovely catching up with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
The
right.
first Monday of freedom. Woo!
Yeah, there you go. You enjoy. What are you going to do now for the rest of the week?
I don't know. I've never had this much just like, I don't know. I'm going to maybe do some game art, maybe order some pizza.
Why the fuck not?
Exactly. Oh, hang on. Connell has one more question.
Okay, Connell.
Type faster, Connell. Type faster.
I've got editing to get to.
Best D&D class. What?
Why?
Why? Fighter. Fighter.
I don't know. None.
Fighter.
It's D&D.
Definitely fighter. Oh, you hush. Okay. You biased old man. But definitely fighter. Dual wielding battle master. Yeah, that's the way to go.
I'm thinking a Pinkerton anti-paladin.
What? Oh, okay. That took me a second. All right, there we go.
There we go. I've answered my question.
Final question of the day.
All right, so that was a random final question from Connell.
Yeah.
All right, okay,
He's on cough medicine.
fair play. Let him enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a big thank you for everyone who joined us in the chat. You guys are amazing, and it is great catching up with you. I want to thank you for joining me this evening, Atlas. If you wanted to tell people whereabouts they can find you on the internet.
Yes, atlas.ursa on Threads, Instagram, the TikTok. I have a Discord in all of my bios. You're welcome to join it, hang out. Super chill. You find me wherever you want to find me. I'm super interactive.
You can find me in most places at Natural Juan or at Natural.Juan. I'm mostly active on Threads, but I'm also behind most of the social media involved with the channel. So you can interact with us on Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, Mastodon, just wherever you like. Don't hesitate to get in touch.
Say that 10 times fast. Mastodon.
Mastodon. I'll tell you what, it's probably the best named social media thing. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you like what we do and you want to kind of see more of it, just don't hesitate to interact with us. Give us a rating, like, tell your friends about us. And once again, if you really want to contribute to the cost of running this, then you can always go to Coffee or Ko-Fi, as it may be. Let's stick with Coffee, and just give us a donation there. We appreciate every little contribution that anyone can give us. But most importantly of all, I want to thank every one of you who's decided to spend some of their valuable time listening to two idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.